Good evening. It's Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, coming to you on Friday night, stepping into your life, speaking into your life, some tools, some techniques, and I hope some hope to get you through the trauma of divorce. I'm glad you're joining me tonight. It's been a while. I missed last week, so I'm really glad to be back. Let me get rid of that little ticker down there and just want to welcome you. And thank you for joining me. So, a couple of quick announcements. Next divorce group is starting September 11th. So that's coming up. You can contact me for a registration form. If you are going through a divorce, do not go through it alone. Reach out. Let me know how I can be of help. Support group is an amazing opportunity. I truly love the group that I'm with. I always love my groups, but this one in particular is a delightful group of individuals, men and women, who are going through this together. They feel such a community and such a kindred spirit because they all have similarities, not the same. They're all in different places, all have different struggles, but they can relate to each other and they begin caring deeply for each other. My apologies. There's someone out my window and my dog wants to let me know that. So hopefully it will be quiet after this. I want to start with a couple of Bible verses. Usually I end with them. I'm going to start with them today because I'm going to talk about life after divorce. So you have come to the point to where my divorce is final. Now what? And that is yet another stage that's a little bit surreal as you're going through it with divorce. You never plan to be here. You never plan to be starting over or to be alone. And yet that's where you find yourself. And you say, okay, I went through the support group. I'm doing the counseling. I'm doing what I need to do to intentionally heal. But now what? What do I do? Where do I go? How do I start? So I'm going to talk about that tonight. Just a couple encouraging, wonderful verses that I wanted to share with you, which is this: Behold, I'll do something new. Now it's going to spring forth. Will you not be aware of it? I will even make a roadway in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. I love that verse. In fact, it's at the beginning of my book, Suddenly Single, because I love it so much. It speaks to me because I'm going to do something new. God is going to do something new. And believe me, for me, it has been an adventure over the last 23 years of being single. And there have been many new things that have happened. And I want that for you too. But I want you to know that there is hope. There is life after divorce. And you're going to get there when you intentionally heal and work on some of the things we're going to talk about today. Another verse, I love this verse as well. You make known to me, this is a prayer in the book of Psalms. You, God, make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures are in your right hand. And this reads different in another version where it speaks to it. Pleasures are in God's right hand. So if we want pleasures and all the fulfillment of our life, we have to look at the spiritual part of our lives. We have to understand what is it God wants to do in our life and be, as I am, delightfully surprised at all of the wonderful things that come into your life. And this verse, of course, you've probably heard it before. It's pretty common, but it's one that always just really kind of nails it. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So I don't know your conception, your idea of God and how he interacts with people and how he's interacting with you right now. But I want you to know the scriptures say, and so often I have seen this lived out, there's a plan for you to prosper, for you to have good things, a good future. So remember that verse. In fact, remember all of these as you find those times where you are disoriented or depressed or thinking, I don't know what to do next. Remember that there is a path, there is life after divorce. And when you connect your life with God in that path, you are going to be amazed at the goodness and the beauty that is going to take place. I've seen it past 17 years of working in divorce world and support groups, and also doing some divorce coaching and later becoming a domestic mediator. I have seen it. I have heard countless testimonies about it. So let's get to the question. My divorce is final. Now what? Where do I start? Where do I begin? Well, there's a couple of places you could begin. And I'd love to share with you some resources that I have. One of them is this book, Building Your Future After Divorce. It goes through 8 weeks of really looking at the different areas in your life. We talk about finances, we talk about networking, we talk about getting rid of things that no longer fit in our life, purging the old life, and creating and building a new life. So this book is pretty easy to find. All you have to do is look up my name on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or christianbooks.com. Build Your Future After Divorce. Has to be intentional. Another book that I have found and other people have told me was very, very helpful is this little book, 30 Days of Healing After Divorce. It goes through one thought a day for 30 days to help you be intentional about your healing. So there are some things, some resources. There's also this little book, which is a journal. It's called Processing Your First Year After Divorce. That first year is pretty amazing. And it needs to be journaled and noted because you are going to be able to witness how you are changing and how you are transforming into a new person. And this talks about, allows you to process the first birthday, the first wedding anniversary, the first Christmas, all of those firsts that you have to go through. So those are some resources that you are more than welcome to check out. I'm going to give you 3 points, but before I do, I want to share this thought with you, that you will never be the same person after going through a divorce. And maybe that's a good thing, because you're never going to hear the words again when a friend comes up to you or a family member and says, I'm going through a divorce. It's going to hit you in a way it never has before. It'll hit you right in the gut because you will remember the pain, the heartache, the confusion. So much of divorce, but it can also make you empathetic and caring and more authentic as we develop from this crisis. I don't want you to waste this rawness and this time. It is a time of growth, post-traumatic growth. It's a time of growth for you. So I don't want you to miss that. So 3 points I want to leave with you. What now? What do you do? After the divorce, you've got to work on your healing. You have to be intentional about your healing. You cannot sit back and wait for it to happen. You've got to find the resources and the support groups and the people and the counselor and the pastor that's going to help you work on your healing. Number 2, find safe people. Maybe the people that you've been hanging out with in the past are really not the best for you. And you, wanting to create a new life, are realizing that and thinking, they were great in my past, but I don't think they belong in my future. And I talk about in my books how we need to love them from a distance. We have to love everyone. Doesn't mean that they have access to our mind and heart. It simply means we care about them, but we also have a boundary and keep our distance from them when they are not safe for us. Explore what you want. What is it that you want? That is a question that's, believe it or not, a lot of people have a hard time with. I don't know what I want. Thought I knew what I wanted, but I don't know what I want. This has been so disorienting. I'm not even sure who I am at this point. This is why it is so important that you truly explore what you want. Maybe you need to go back to high school or college. to remember what your passions were, what was really important to you, what your life goals were, what your core values are. Explore what you want, because that is going to begin to open up a new life to you. It's going to require risk. You can't just explore, write about it, and say, yeah, this is really what I want, and sit back and wait for it to come. It doesn't work that way. You have to be intentional about working on your healing, intentional about the people that you hang out with, intentional on exploring what it is that you want. 3 simple things. Some books, some tools to help you go through it. You are going to launch into a beautiful life. How do I know that? Well, you're taking a few minutes to listen with me today. You're open to the idea of resources, open to the idea of a support group. All of those things are going to open the world to you. Don't let divorce defeat you. It was a very difficult and messy transition, but that's all that it was a transition, not a destination. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, walking with you every step of the way through the trauma and after the trauma of divorce. Have a good evening.